You can't afford to be lazy with upper back training. This is the biggest mistake you could possibly do. Here's the thing. Being thick up there will help in injury prevention. It'll make you look massive without even trying, and it has strength carryover to upper and lower body. So if you just want a big bench or just look wide but not that thick, wrong mentality, my friend. You're bound to develop muscular imbalances that's going to cost you in the future. I see many guys who run upper lower programs. They'll do 3 presses, 1 back movement. And in many cases, they're babying the back, not even trying to induce progressive overload. They'll just get on the bar, hit 3 sets of 8 to 12 on the pull-up, and that's it. They're done. They don't add weight to the pull-up, and they don't do rows on top of it, including for calisthenics. Big culprits there. Just push-ups and pull-ups. Fantastic for building mass, but you should be doing some inverted rows. And if you have bands, maybe some band face pulls. Minimalism is a surefire way of ruining your body. And the injuries cannot be ignored. I don't care what your goals are. I don't care if you just want to have a massive bench press or just the beach muscles from the front. You're going to get snapped up. If you train long enough, let's say your bench is 225 and you want to get that 405, that journey requires, it's an absolute necessity that upper back is emphasized. Or you will get snapped up and it's not going to be fun. You might need surgeries, you might need to take time off from the gym, or you might lose all your freaking gains. How about that? People don't realize how serious this is, even at the late novice to early intermediate level. You start running a novice program, doesn't have rows in there, you just get a 225 bench and you're rowing 95 pounds, you're not going to look that good, for one, and you're going to have all kinds of joint pain that could have been avoided if you just put in a little bit of extra work. So all I'm suggesting is you at least conclude rows some type. I made that mistake in 2019 where I was only doing pull-ups. I found the solution was high volume band rows. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but of course I was still going ham on the pull-ups, so I didn't have a problem with that, right? So that's one method of tackling it. Another way is by increasing your frequency. And then another thing you could do is actually train your back separately. I know that sounds crazy coming from me, but you know what? I'd rather you do that than be a lazy asshole that's not going to do your back training at the end of the workout. You do some bench, some overhead press, some extensions, some curls, then 1 row and you get out. Fuck that, man. Do some rows on your off days, or do a push-pull legs if upper lower is not for you. Or if you can't handle the back training during your full body workout, stay away from it. I'd rather you run a system that's maybe slightly less efficient, but you're getting your upper back volume in, because this is quite literally your foundation. When you squat, your upper back needs to be engaged very heavily, especially on front squats or just variations that's not the traditional form. When you do deadlifts, you need a strong upper back. Add 100 pounds to your barbell row. See what happens when you start pulling from the ground. It's actually going to have insane carryover. All the elite deadlifters have super thick upper backs for a very good reason. It's not just because they deadlift. Rows are superior to deadlifts for building up the upper back. Much better stimulus fatigue ratio, and you're actually moving through space doing the complete range of motion. Deadlift is a partial in that way. It does work. There's the way to stretch. Yes, you're going to get bigger, but it's not the most efficient way of doing so. So rows are king when it comes to this. And by increasing upper back thickness, it'll raise your strength potential for your deadlifts and other compound movements. It helps with overhead press as well, upper back stabilization. Any big compound that I can imagine, you need upper back. Whether it's upper body or lower body, it is what it is. That's why if a guy turns around and he has no mass up there, just completely skinny, he's probably weak. 9 out of 10 times, that's how it is. Or he's good at a very few select lists. Maybe he's just good at chin-ups or something, and he's a lightweight to go with it. But you show me a guy with a thick upper back, and I'll show you a strong guy. Pretty much every single time. It's hard to find an exception, unless they just don't have the best leverages for some pressing movements and stuff like that. But overall, you're big up there, you're probably a strong guy. And it looks freaking badass. Let's be real. You turn around, there's just this monster appearance. And if you're a higher body fat to go with it, the fat actually goes on top of this and enhances your frame even further. Hence, the naturally enhanced philosophy. So I'm not even telling you to do the neck training and the upper trap stuff. I just want to make sure you got that mid to lower region, the rhomboids, rear delts especially. A lot of guys aren't doing their band face pulls or rear delt flies. Big mistake. Like I said, minimalism is a one-way ticket to Snap City. There's a reason why guys like Matt Wenning are still in the game. You have to account for every variable, whether it's bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, calisthenics, no matter what it is. Do whatever it takes to get that volume in and raise those freaking strength standards. I want you rowing 225 for reps. Not saying you have to train like that, but you should be able to pull it off. A guy says, okay, row 2 plates right in front of my face. Shouldn't be an issue. Not saying that's the most efficient thing either, but I'm just saying your strength has to be there. Because a bigger muscle is also a stronger muscle. So that tells me a lot about what's going on as well. And stay the hell away from gym bro ideologies where you're neglecting very important areas. You might look pretty decent from the front, chest and arms, and maybe you got a little bit of thickness in your back. So it doesn't look imbalanced. But the problem is that there's a strength imbalance, and that's going to affect your performance on the presses, on the lower body stuff, and give you shoulder pain. So I can even take it to the next level and say that you could be jacked in the upper back. Maybe that's why you have shoulder pain. You are jacked, you are strong, but it's not good enough. That is the key distinction. You might be an elite bench press, but only intermediate row. But intermediate row is still enough to make you look amazing. Remember, after a year of training, you're going to build a lot of muscle, even that second year. So let's say your first 1 to 3 years, you actually do hit your upper back hard, but your bench surpasses it very slightly. You never really regress on that, and you kept your strength goals a lot higher, right? Because that makes sense. That's a lot of gym bros do, or just guys in general, myself included. By doing that, you're affecting the strength ratios. And that distortion is precisely what's going to get you injured. So when I say don't neglect your upper back, this goes beyond just looking balanced, because muscular imbalances are much deeper than we realize. There could be a serious strength issue. So become elite on your bench, become elite on your row. That combination ensures that you'll minimize injuries and look the best, of course. So that's my advice for this video. If you want to be lazy on certain areas like the calves or the biceps or even the pecs, you don't care about a bench, you just want a big overhead press, that's fine. But the upper back, that is not something you can afford to be lazy with. You absolutely need to emphasize it more. Master strength, and you're going to be very happy for many years to come. And you're going to be an older guy who's looking thick, balanced, and be like, God damn, I'm so happy that Alpha Destiny guy told me to not be lazy in this area. I'm telling you, this is the only way to fucking go, period. Upper back needs to be emphasized. I'm done ranting. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me your feedback in the comment section, and I'll speak to you next time.